Hey guys, what's up? I just wanted to make this video because in a week from when I post this video, which will hopefully be Sunday, my Warped Tour date's going to be coming up, the one I'm going to. And in honor of that, I want to make a video of the top 10 bands that I'm looking forward to seeing at this year's Warped Tour. First off, I have some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the list, but I'd still like to see them if I get a chance. There's a time slot where I'm not doing anything, I'd like to go see them. Those bands are Memphis Mayfire, Motion City Soundtrack, Neck Deep, and Simple Plan. Number 10 on the list is a band that is kind of controversial. A lot of people like them, a lot of people hate them, but before you say anything, I'm unsure about them. That's why I want to go see them, because they perplex me. Anyway, this band I'm talking about is Attila, and they kind of tie me in knots, if that makes any sense. They have these really generic concepts and lyrics about, oh, fuck the haters and partying and shit like that. But on the other hand, they have this really heavy tone to them that makes you just want to mosh. And I think that would be pretty fun to be in a crowd with a bunch of people just pushing each other around. I enjoy that. There's obviously going to be some people who like to just watch the music, but I enjoy being in the crowd and getting the whole experience. They're different than a lot of other bands. They mix metalcore and rap, which are surprisingly both done by the same singer, slash screamer, slash vocalist, whatever you want to call him, whose name is Chris Franzak, mostly known as Franzilla. Off the top of my head, I can think of a couple songs I know by them, but I don't really know a lot. I can think of Proving Grounds, Party with the Devil, About That Life, and kind of blanking out on some other ones. Again, not a band I really listen to, but I'm interested to go see them. So I don't know how it's exactly going to shape out, but hopefully good. Number 9 on the list goes to Asking Alexandria. And they're a band I never really got into as big as they were. Even when Danny Worsnop was the singer, they were really big, one of the biggest in the genre. But yeah, I just never got around to listening to them really. But recently I've been listening to a couple of their old songs, like The Final Episode, Not the American Average. And I know they have a new lead singer, Dennis Stoff, and they released a new song. Don't exactly remember it. I listened to it once and I forget it. It's actually the song that's playing in the background right now. But it's going to be interesting to see how Dennis is going to make their old songs his own, or maybe try to be like Danny a little bit. Either way, I'm interested to see how they're going to work that out. The band I picked for number 8 is Set It Off, and they were actually a pretty tough competitor for being in the 7th slot on this list, but they were just edged out by another band that I'll explain up next. But right now, Set It Off, their lead singer Cody Carson has a very good voice. I like it a lot because he's able to do more than just sing. He actually incorporates a little bit of rap into their songs. They're a pop punk band, but they have this really upbeat vibe that they give off and positive messages. I enjoy that. I think the way that they're doing it, they're mixing it with some pop elements too, is pretty cool to see. I love genre mixing, so anytime a band can do that, I definitely welcome it. I was very impressed with their cover of Ariana Grande's Problem on the newest Punkos Pop album. Although I'm not really a fan of any of the original songs off that album, Set It Off really made this song their own, unlike a lot of the other songs off the album. I felt like the Volume 6 of Punkos Pop wasn't very strong, but this song I really enjoyed. The few songs I've heard by them, Why Worry, Nightmare, Forever Stuck in Our Youth, are just a couple of reasons that have intrigued me to go see them live, and I'm looking forward to it. Now, the number 7 band that just edged out Set It Off is As It Is. As It Is, As It Is, As It Is. The lead singer of this band is actually Patty Walters, who's known on YouTube for making a lot of covers. I knew Patty from YouTube, and I didn't really like his voice, kind of nasally, but when As It Is started releasing songs, I looked into it, and I grew to like the combo of Patty and the guitarist slash vocalist Benjamin Biss. I feel like they have good potential for a pop punk act, and they have a new album, Never Happy Ever After, that just came out like about a month or two ago. And I enjoyed listening to some of the highlight tracks such as Dial Tones, Cheap Shots and Setbacks, and Concrete. It's something that really propelled me to go see them at Warped, or hopefully to go see them at Warped. Number 6 is a band that a lot of people know, We Came as Romans. They're a band that I'm just starting to get into, even with how long they've been around. I've always loved their punk rock pop renditions. They've been on multiple albums and covered a lot of songs that were shitty and made them good. Earlier this year they released 2 singles, one called The World I Used to Know and a second called Regenerate. The first being softer and the second being heavier. So it's good to see that they could be diverse and really put a different sound into their music every once in a while, rather than just keeping it, this whole album is going to be completely heavy. It's good to mix it up, that way people don't get bored. I saw some videos online of them performing at Warped in the past, and actually a video of them performing at Warped this year, and they sound extremely good live, so I'm definitely looking forward to seeing them perform. The next band I want to talk about is a band called Palisades from my home state, New Jersey. They have a lot of genre names that people call them, like one is trapcore, and apparently if you put anything in front of the word core, it automatically becomes a genre. It's not really true. They're actually a great blend of EDM and metalcore. That's what I like to call them, EDM and metalcore. And I saw and met them once in concert. It was a small concert, but it was still very fun to jump around to, enjoy their music. They sound like a mix of Issues and Memphis Mayfire. Getting the Issues part from the fact that they have a DJ and they put a lot of techno beats into their music. I get Memphis Mayfire from the metalcore roots that they have dating back to their first EP. I actually have their newest album, Mind Games. It's pretty dope. You should go check it out, go buy it. I actually got this free for getting a ticket to their concert. It was a Mind Games CD release tour, and everyone who got a ticket automatically got a copy of the CD, so got it for free. It was very generous of Palisades to do that, especially for a band that's up and coming, probably doesn't have a lot of income right now, but very generous of them nonetheless. Number 4 is a band that I was really losing hope for after waiting ages for some sort of new material, and finally they came back with a new single just a couple of weeks ago called The Divine Zero. The band I'm talking about is Pierce the Veil. I saw them in concert last December when they went on the world tour with Sleeping with Sirens, and they were actually really good live. They have a sound live that's similar to the tracks themselves, so that's always something to look for when you go to see a band live. Something I'm glad about with their new material is that it doesn't seem like they've lost their roots like Sleeping with Sirens. With Sleeping with Sirens' new album, I feel like they completely change into this different band that I knew from when I first knew them. So I'm glad that Pierce the Veil is still sticking to a sound that they had when they first started making music. Number 3 on this list goes to Beartooth, who I actually first heard of when they opened for Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens on the world tour. At the time, I didn't really know much about them, but I can safely say that they had possibly the best pit that I've ever been in. They definitely keep the crowd involved, and now that I know them well, I'm eager to see them again. Having a lead singer that was formerly part of a big band like Attack really helps the new band get some new material out, and helps them fan base wise, because you're gonna have fans from Attack who are now gonna migrate over to Beartooth. Not only did it help them fan base wise, but also helped them musically, as the last album that Beartooth released, Disgusting, is actually considered by many to be one of the best metalcore albums of 2014. Number 2 goes to a band called Youth in Revolt, also out of my home state of New Jersey. I was a fan of them before their EP even came out, and I've seen and met them twice. Once as support for Crown the Empire on the Welcome to the Resistance tour, and once with Palisades on the Mind Games CD release tour. Not a lot of people know Youth in Revolt, but I think a good reason to check them out is because I feel like they have the potential to become one of the biggest bands in the post-hardcore, metalcore genre. They draw comparisons to old Sleeping with Sirens and old Asking Alexandria, so fans of that music would definitely like Youth in Revolt. Also, their newest single, Dead Inside, is currently out as we wait for their first full-length debut album coming out this fall. And the #1 band to go see at Vans Warped Tour this summer is the Amity Affliction. And I really have to thank my friend Johnny for getting me into this band, because they're now one of my favorite bands, and I've only been listening to them for a couple months. Still haven't explored a lot of their old stuff, but their last 2 albums that they released, I'm hooked. Completely hooked. The Amity Affliction are a metalcore band from Australia that formed in 2003. Something interesting about them is that it took them about 10 years just to get major recognition in their genre. It's actually a cool story to think about when you hear about a band like this, formed in a completely different country, waits a good amount of years, still making music, never giving up, and finally gets the success that they were looking to get by breaking into music all around the world, not just within their country. They're fantastic lyricists. They have a lot of emotion behind their writing, and something I admire about them is that they have the ability to be both calm and heavy. Like I stated earlier in this video, having that ability really keeps your listeners interested in what you're writing and what you're playing, and keeps listeners in store for the future. Their latest album, Let the Ocean Take Me, is also considered to be one of the best metalcore albums of 2014. I cannot wait to see them in person, as well as all the other bands on this list. It's actually going to be my first Warped Tour, so it's going to be one of the highlights of my summer, and I think I'm definitely going to enjoy going. Thanks for watching. Hopefully this video didn't suck, and hopefully my air conditioner wasn't too much of a bother to the sound quality of this video, because it's really hot and it would be gruesome to do a video in heat. Also, leave a comment down below on some bands or a band that you want to see at Warped Tour this year and why you want to see them. And who knows, maybe some of the bands on this list you'll go see. Thanks for watching again, guys. See ya.